Hi, is the sound working? Sorry for my voice if it is. Let me catch up here. Oh my goodness. Hi everybody. Let me. Oh, good. One time it actually works. Actually, I just started and already got adjusted and actually in. But at least the sound works, so that's a plus. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was gonna go live today because I was like, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? And like all the time I spent trying to decide if I can do it, might as well just try and see how I do. But I've been terribly sick today. It was awful, and I wasn't like in the morning. My voice was completely gone, so it looks like It's better now. Like I can talk and it doesn't hurt or anything. It's not quite all there yet, but I'm not like suffering. It's just still not all completely back. Like I can tell I sound like hoarse in a way. It definitely feels like that. Okay, let me get all my stuff in order here. Got up about the chat. Get my overlay, get my link. All of the little things. Here we go. And I wasn't 100% sure which debate to do today because there were a few recent Andrew Wilson options, but I'm kind of tired of Andrew Wilson, so I wanted to do something else, and the recent debates weren't that fun either. They were kind of stupid, I guess. Like the marriage one was so dumb. It's just kind of a bunch of nothing burgers there, so. But Jubilee, or not Jubilee. Sorry, I think I read Jubilee in the chat somewhere. Have you ever considered going over a Jubilee episode? Jubilee might be a little bit difficult because they copyright strike, although in my case it doesn't really matter because I'm not monetized anyway. And the one time I included a 30-second Jubilee clip in one of my videos, it copyright struck it, and then I had to appeal, and they let me have it, obviously, because I'm a ridiculously tiny channel. I had 5 subscribers at the time. But yeah, I guess if I'm not being monetized anyway and they let you stream it, they just take the profits. But if there are no profits anyway, I don't really see the harm, I suppose. So yeah, we could try. I don't know, the copyright stuff always looked sort of scary to me, so I'm just trying to tiptoe very carefully around things like that. But I think we could do something like that. Probably not today, because those tend to run kind of long. Although the good thing about those is, especially the surround ones, they have topics. They have many smaller topics within one larger episode. So if we stop a quarter halfway through, like we tend to do often, it's not such a big deal because it's little episodes within one video. So you still get the whole topic done, and it's not missing out on anything, I suppose. Sorry, I'm still getting organized here. Oh, Julie is hard to sit through. Yes, yeah. I should have just read this one, but yeah, that's basically what I've been saying. At least would you believe there's more variety with the topic? That is a good point. Absolutely. And yes, thank you for letting me know that the sound works. One time it worked. Yeah, it's little debates. Yeah, that's good thinking for sure. I mean, is there one anyone had in mind? I'm definitely open to switching it up a little bit. The plan tonight was to do this. So Modern Day Debate just came out with something. Yesterday. It's called Made by Jim Bob versus 5. but it's another one of those evolution ones, and I kind of skimmed through a little bit of it, but didn't really sit down and like watch and listen properly yet, so I haven't really seen it. But just just scrolling through, it's only got 2 people. It's one episode, like 17-minute episode, but it's supposed to be versus 5, and it's versus 2. So I'm confused about that. But the first lady is, I don't know, the spot that I happened to pause on, or not pause on, the spot I happened to skip to start playing to sort of see what it's about, she didn't seem very bright, but I think neither would I if somebody was like skipping around and randomly stopped on a spot where I'm like, I probably wouldn't sound very bright either. So maybe that's not fair. So maybe we give that a chance. The good thing about that is it's quite short. It's 17 minutes total, and there's 2 inside one as well. So that was the original plan, but it doesn't have to be like a 10-minute thing. We could. It's what I mean by short is usually we go like 3, sometimes 4 hours. I think. Well, not even sure. I think it's like 3.5 is pretty normal for me. You know what? Let me just look. Cause I can just look and see how long these normally are. I don't even know, cause usually I don't have a time limit or anything. I just sort of sit here and talk to you guys and watch stuff, and it's fun. And sometimes I glance at the time if it feels like it's getting late, but I don't usually like sit down and I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna do like 2 hours today or like 1 hour today. I don't usually plan things out like that or anything. So what I mean by short is not like 3.5 hours, maybe like an hour or something, but also not like 10 minutes. You know, I'm not. Then I would just reschedule it or something if it was going to be like a total 10 minutes. That's kind of silly. So, there is another one that's a short sort of clip from a bigger one but it's like a thing that Andrew Wilson posted. It's a clip from them doing Timcast. Excuse me. It's a clip from them doing Timcast, but it's another Force Doctrine one, and it's a not tonight kind of thing. But that is not. I prefer something a little bit more kind of chill, I suppose. Something I'm not like really into, if that makes sense. Definitely not 24 hour stream tonight. I think that one time I did accidentally like leave my stream on for what, like 12 15 hours, something like that. That's so stupid. Just walked away and like, all done here. No, we're not, definitely not doing that. I was gonna get a sign after that, but it hasn't been a problem since. I figured it might be a problem that I would forget all the time and I would need some kind of. I started figuring out like, okay, I'm gonna I found these plugs online that you can program, and I'm gonna figure out how to send like an HTTP request to the plug so that like whenever it's on, it's gonna like ping it, and if it's, or maybe like if I turn it off, that's gonna ping it to turn it off. Otherwise, it's always on, and like, it would connect to this light, and if I see the light, I can be like, oh no, I left the stream on. But it only happened one time, so it's never been a problem since, and it doesn't make sense to like, engineer a whole like technical solution for something that hasn't really been a problem except for one time. Welcome, Gregory. If you don't mind me asking, why do you hate Andrew so much? I do not hate Andrew. I think a lot of his ideas are bad, and he has been rude to me personally and other people. So I think he is rude, and I think his ideas are bad and stupid, but I don't hate him. I don't hate people. Found recently I've been watching Andrew back when he was known as Big Papa Fascist and would debate Red Pill Gaming. I haven't seen a debate against Red Pill Gaming. I'm assuming that's also a creator. That sounds kind of interesting to watch. But no, I do not hate him. is just sort of everywhere, and a lot of his ideas are very, like, obviously bad, and the fact that he's everywhere and speaking so confident, like he's giving people a lecture all the time, like, "Let me lecture you on this thing where it's completely wrong," is annoying to me, so, yeah, definitely don't hate him, but there is a lot to criticize, and he puts himself out there to be criticized and brags about how, like, if you brag about how influential you are, you're up for grabs. I'm just saying. So that's where that's at. But thanks for asking. Welcome. You're welcome to stick around. I'm not like, oh, if you're a fan of Andrew Wilson, you can't stay here or something. It's not like that. I don't care. But yeah, so let me do you know what? I don't know if I even do the links tonight because it's not gonna be that long of a thing, and it's sort of all over the place. So I don't think I'm even gonna do links tonight. I'll drop it in the Discord just for completion's sake. The one that's ours, not everybody else's. So I'm gonna do that real quick. But I'm not gonna post everywhere. I think I'll just do my own stuff today. Oh no, where's my window? I lost all my stuff again. Oh my goodness. This really is this really is quite a mess. Okay. Oh, I found it. Oh good. Okay. Oh, did you guys hear about the thing with it was all over my feed today, the clavicular and Brett Cooper thing? It's so stupid. Even Pearl did a thing about it. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that people made such a I'm not a fan of Brett. I don't care. I find her kind of annoying, and it's kind of whatever. I don't watch her. But to make a big deal out of her smiling at somebody and judge that and attack her for it and be like, "Oh, where's her husband? Look at her giving eyes to this clavicular guy," when she literally was just polite for 5 seconds. So if you're a female and you're polite to a man for 5 seconds, you want to fuck him. That makes sense, right? Jeez. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? The video of the thing. I can pull it up. She smiled at someone. No, it's over. That's what they said. And then even Pearl did a whole thing about her. Let me pull it up so y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't know if anybody has seen it yet, but it was everywhere. Let me find that real quick because I had it here, and I was looking at it. I was like, oh, I can't believe this is the real thing that people are saying. And it wasn't like a few people here and there. This like blew up. Oh wow, I just saw these. Pearl is not letting this go. Let me share my screen real quick. This is pretty funny. 1 second. Oh my goodness. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. Window. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just turned to X to go find that video I saw, and here's Pearl. She's going on about it. This one was 3 hours ago. This one 14. Nobody cares if Brett Cooper thirst traps with her baby in the room and seeks attention from other men the same way no one cares if that Sarah Stock left her boss. People are annoyed because they both nagged people about morality. I get the Sarah Stock thing. If y'all are not up to that particular drama, as she was apparently a popular conservative, I don't know, influencer chick or something, and she cheated on her husband with her boss, Elijah Schaefer, he used to have a show on, what was it called? I think it was on that thing that the white-haired guy runs. We brought him up the other day. What's his name? You know what? It doesn't matter. But they had a show on that sort of network, and white hair, older guy. I can't think today. Anyway, so they had this affair, and it turned public because of freaking Milo. Is it Milo? I think it's Milo Yiannopoulos, and he leaked all this stuff, and that became a big deal. So I sort of get that, because that is her sort of preaching about morality and then doing some super not moral stuff. But Brett Cooper thirst traps with her baby in the room. I don't know where Pearl is getting that. Maybe I missed something, but the only thing I've seen today was she was polite to somebody for 5 seconds and smiled, and everybody lost their shit. And now I said it a year ago when Brett Cooper played the victim after she left the Daily Wire that her ego was going to get her in trouble. I am so undefeated when it comes to e-girls. Again, I'm not really a fan of Brett Cooper, but Pearl has got, like, this isn't the first time I've seen her bring up Brett Cooper, and you would think they'd be on the same side, because Brett Cooper is also, like, right-wing, traditional, sort of conservative lady, but she's a woman, so to Pearl, that's equivalent to garbage, I suppose. Pearl's worth. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me find this video. I don't want anything, like, weird to pop up, because X is not, sometimes weird things come up, so let me switch it off real quick, and I'll find that video and I'll come back to it. I was just looking for this video, and this came up, and I was like, holy crap. Relevant. Hashtag drama stream. But no, not really. But since I mentioned it, I feel weird talking about something that I'm not showing, I suppose. Yeah, people are going hard against her. Okay. Oh, this was the one that blew up, I think. Let me pull up the real video in a minute so I can have both, because this is a screenshot that blew up. Let me get the video. Media. Probably easier to get this. Is there... No? Where's the video? Why is it... It was everywhere, and now I can't find it. The full version of it. This is so stupid. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, here it is. Oh my goodness, stop playing. Okay, I found it. So... One second. The Blaze! Yes, thank you, The Blaze. He was, I think he had a show on The Blaze with that, Sydney Watson, sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Sydney Watson, lady. Heck, I wish you would reveal all my debates with Andrew, but I'm just greedy. Oh, we can do that. Is there... Did I miss... Maybe I missed some, but yeah, we could totally do that. Just send them along. If I missed a few, we could totally do that. Especially since they tend to be on the shorter side, I think, right? So here is... So this pretty viral. Oh wow, 3 million views. Conservative podcaster Brett Cooper flew out to NYC Fashion Week to meet Clavicular. Oh, that's such a stupid name. I can never get over how stupid that is. It sure is, I suppose, different and unique and memorable, but it is so stupid. Okay. This is her face when she met him. Oh my god, a smile! Oh no, she's smiling. She is married, period. Like, that's supposed to be relevant. Like, she's married, like, you would think this was a screenshot of her, like, effing somebody, literally, like, caught in bed with the sheets up, like, oh no, what happened? You would think, but it's just, like, fully clothed at some event with a bunch of people around. Like, hi, how are you? She is married, period. Bros, if you think you're safe because you got a ring on your girl's finger, you need to wake the F up. Oh my goodness. This is, jeez. Oh man. So, the full video, let me scroll. Looks okay.
Okay, yeah, okay. And Brett's gonna, if you want to say hi to Brett.
Brett?
So this is backstage somewhere. There was some event and there's all these famous people and they go backstage and hang out with all the other famous people. So that's what people do, I suppose.
What's up?
How's it going?
How are you? Amazing.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming.
Good job.
You thought it was good?
The show's very good. Brett.
Okay.
Hi.
That's it. And then somebody else comes up and she gives that lady a hug.
I look different because of the makeup.
And that's it.
It's because of the makeup.
That's it. There's nothing else here. They're just kind of standing around.
Okay. This.
I look different.
And she doesn't say anything else to him. Like, aside from that initial interaction for like 5 seconds, she's talking to this other girl the whole time that's next to him.
Okay, yeah, okay. And Brett's gonna, if you want to say hi to Brett.
This is it.
Brett? What's up?
This is the big.
How are you? Amazing.
This is
Thanks for coming.
scandalous. Oh no, she touched his hand. The horror. Oh my goodness. She's gonna be pregnant now. He impregnates chicks just by shaking their hand. Oh my goodness. Is that what we're supposed to... Sorry. I just started blabbing about this because it was everywhere and it's unbelievable the lengths people will go to make stuff up for no reason out of a complete nothing burger. A complete empty nothing burger. I don't understand. And Pearl somehow got a whole stream out of this, like bashing Brett Cooper. It's something. She's acting like, I told you guys, I've been telling you guys all along, she's a hoe. Like this is like evidence of her being a hoe or something. Her name is Clavicular. No, his name is Clavicular, the guy in the white shirt. Her name is Brett Cooper. I know it's weird because it's like, it sounds like a man's name, but no, that's the chick's name. It's Brett is the chick's name. I feel like she's always smiling, plus she's an actress. Yeah, that's kind of... It seems kind of like her job to meet people and be friendly. So... Oh, goodness. Yeah, I mean, I understand, because Brett Cooper sounds like a dude, so you would think, like, okay, so that's his name, so she must be the other one. I kind of get that. If you don't know who that is, it's not super straightforward. She smiled at that woman too. Yeah, obviously lesbian. Why isn't anybody freaking out that Brett Cooper is obviously batting for the same team now? Is she gonna have to divorce her husband? Because clearly, I mean, you saw the way that she hugged that woman. She hugged her. That is way further than she went with Clavicular. So if that means something for her and Clavicular, she's basically like in a relationship with that other chick. That must be it. Jeez. Yeah, you would have to put it in Discord. The chat doesn't do links, but you can put it in Discord and I'll grab it. We can totally do that. I'm not super set on this evolution thing personally. It's sort of like it came out recently and it's here, but it's this one. It's them like say it's two people the whole time. Even though it's called Made by Jimbo versus 5, did only 2 people show up, or did only 2 people do this particular topic, or did they do 2 people in one video and we'll have like 3 people in a separate video? I'm not sure what the plan is here, but I feel betrayed because I was promised versus 5 and I got versus 2. I don't know why I keep harping on it. It's not really that big of a deal. It's not really that important, but that's not what that is. So I'm upset. Okay. Let me check. Oh, I got your. We need Christian nationalism to stop degeneracy. Okay, yeah, we can do this one. This might be more interesting anyway.
Want?
So this one looks like I started this one at some point. This one's 42 minutes, but let's skip to. Oh, you have like. Oh, you're right in the middle there. Okay. Okay, this is right at the end. Okay, this is like the end of the other one. Okay, let me make sure I have all my stuff here. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. Sound. Lights, camera, action.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So would you say that in the early 1700s, the nation fit your definition of Christian nationalism, America specifically?
Not what we would currently advocate for. No.
Why not?
Well, because it's a different society and a different social.
Wait, what?
The nation fit your definition of Christian nationalism.
And the people who are operating within those confines actually are happier. They're happier than any of you secularists with
1800s.
Sorry, I keep
Thank you,
skipping
appreciate
the important part.
So would you say that in the early 1700s, the nation fit your definition of Christian nationalism, America specifically?
Not what we would currently advocate for. No.
Why not?
Well, because it's a different society and a different social order. Because of that, there's going to be different prescriptions, which are.
Why not? Because it's different. What? Sorry, what? That's why I'm like, wait. Why? Oh, it's different. They have because different stuff, a different society, different social order, different. Because different. What? Okay, maybe he'll keep going. I don't know.
Applied.
Well, I'm not asking if that model would apply to today. What I'm asking is, did that model fit back then? Oh, what would be required for Christian nationalism, seeing as would be the majoritarian culture of the time?
Yeah, well, I think within individual states you can make that case. You couldn't make that case in the national level.
But was it the overall culture of the 13 colonies at that point?
Yes, that it was very much Christian, yes.
So that would be a Christian nationalism of that time, according to your definition.
It would at least be a nation of Christians, but it would have nothing to do with the current advocation of what we're talking about when we say Christian nationalism.
What's the difference?
Because you're making a comparison between two very different government and social.
He keeps saying it's different, but it doesn't say how. He's just like, it's different.
Orders.
So are you saying Christian nationalism can only exist today and it couldn't exist back then?
No, I'm saying that Christian nationalism, as we're presenting it today, is advocating for a distinct set of beliefs based on the current social and societal order. So any comparison you make to the 1700s is not going to apply to what our social prescriptions currently would be.
All right, give me
What? What does it have? What? Okay, yeah, sure. Things are always different. Things are different today than they were yesterday. And things are going to be different tomorrow. things are different in general all the time. But how does that? That doesn't really explain anything. Like there's no reason that it couldn't be like a similar thing as to what he's describing as Christian nationalism, which, from what I've heard in other debates, is basically like people happen to be Christian and they happen to do everything that our nation legally allows for people to do, and they basically get elected and use their moral compass as a Christian to guide their decisions and votes and whatever, which is what already happens. So we already have that, and I would say we had that even more back in the day when it was even more heavily Christian. And if his thing about like some of the states even having a religion, like a Christian religion statewide, if any of that is true, I haven't looked into it very deeply, but if any of that is true, then you would say like back then it was even closer to Christian nationalism than it is now. But I don't he just keeps saying different, so maybe he'll explain.
Example.
Like they didn't have OnlyFans.
Okay.
Okay.
So what? How does so having basically like allowing it to be legal is I'm confused. So is it because we allow it to be legal, it's not Christian nationalism, or because we like happen to have it because technology evolved and therefore it can't be?
Okay.
That would be an
Oh.
example
So they didn't have
of a
so they
specific social policy which Christian nationalists would advocate for that they wouldn't be advocating for at the time. They may have advocated anti-prostitution or various things like this in various states, but the prescriptions are going to be different.
So what is the Bible's prescription, seeing as Christianity is defined by the Bible? What's the Bible's prescription for people who are not saved but have sexual desire? What should they do?
They should get married.
Right. Okay. So you believe that somebody who is not a Christian can get married?
Yeah, so what we would say is this.
But that's a good question because he says no everywhere else.
This is what both the Orthodox and Catholic Church, I think, would say. That is a movement towards Christ. It's at least some movement towards it.
What? Wait. No way.
But only if the confines of the marriage were set with the same religious adherence that you would set to as Christians. So, for instance, if you say two men get married, right?
Yeah, obviously.
That would
Oh,
not
no, forget that.
the confines of the marriage.
Whoa.
They should get married.
Right. Okay. So you believe that somebody who is not a Christian can get married?
Yeah, so what we would say is this, and this is what both the Orthodox and Catholic Church, I think, would say, that is a movement towards Christ. It's at least.
I have somewhat recently heard him basically rapidly attack Lauren Chen for saying this exact thing. Okay, rapidly attack is a little excessive, but he was coming at her like hard for no particular reason. She wasn't even disagreeing with him all that much. She was more like exploring, and even like a bunch of times she was like, oh, maybe you're right about this, maybe you're right about that. She was really being like extremely submissive and basically conceding everything, and he still like attacked her. That's what that was not a conversation. That was a beatdown. And for this saying this exact thing that he just said, he basically went off on her about how she was well, you know what, let's just watch it. Let's just watch it. Why not? I'd have to find the timestamp. Give me a minute. Do I have that? No, you know what? I don't have. Oops. I don't know if I have that transcript. Nope, not this one, not this one. I don't know. Is it this one? No, not that. I don't think I have it. Maybe it'll be on there. There's no way. Am I tripping? Am I tripping right now? I remember this being a big deal in that conversation. Is there one on...
Pragmatic because you can get rid of the undesired.
Is there... No, they don't have... I don't see timestamps here. I'm gonna have to grab this transcript real quick and find where they talk about... Oh, come here. There we go. I'm working on it. I'm getting it. Text is fine. Oh, no, I have a fluff in here again. Jeez. I hate it when this fluff happens. Oh no, it's all fucked up. Okay, let me get the timestamp because it's in here somewhere. Because I remember this, and this is something that I remember him like specifically coming back to a few times as well. This wasn't like something that was said in passing. This was a topic of conversation for a while. That she said that secular people should get married, and he argued very strongly that no, they shouldn't, and even suggesting that was somehow like doing something bad for their religion or something. And maybe those aren't the exact right words, but it's been a while since I saw it. But he was absolutely taking the opposite side on that one. Where did I put that? I just got this. Where is it? Okay, there it is. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I just need a minute. So, because this is like over an hour thing, I don't want to be clicking around sort of blindly at it. I need a little bit of help. Okay, let me catch up on chat while we look for that. Oh, welcome back, Scott. And oh, right, Valentine's Day. Thank you. I am feeling a lot better. This morning was awful. My voice is still messed up, but it's it doesn't hurt anymore, but it still sounds off. Yeah, I'm sure you can tell. So, but thank you very much. Oh, now you see why I took the angles I did debating him. I get answers from him. No, absolutely. And this is another good example. The other one too, because sorry, my voice is acting up again. The other one where it was the force doctrine questions were really good. I'm actually going to include some of those at the end of my video because a lot of those concessions, he conceded a lot of things that he normally doesn't for people who are secular, and having this conditional concession really, it's another nail in the coffin of force doctrine, honestly. So you did really well there. I include the learn Chen blushing in my video review. Oh, do you really? Oh, no way. I can't be, see, I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. This is a thing. It should be about 35. There's one about 35 minutes. pull it up over here.
Around the country trying to share your testimony of your salvation from the day before, it actually is a defeater to the position of the humbleness of Christianity. You're supposed to operate within Christianity.
That's not right. Do I have my time wrong? Oh, it's hallucinating again. Wonderful. I hate it when it does that. It's like, oh, here you go. And it's not it at all. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'll just do this manually so this is easier. Oh, here we go. 35:44. It is around here. Oh, I'm a minute off. Okay. That explains that. I'm sorry, AI. I was wrong. It was me. I'm the one that messed up, and I go around blaming the robots. Alright, let me finish this real quick. One thing believers are consistent at is not being consistent. I do often find that. The thing about... So, I really don't have a problem with people being religious at all, but the problems usually arise when they try to like rationalize the belief. And I think if you're going to believe in God, that's why it's separate from everything else. That's why, like, religion and belief, it requires no evidence. When you try to rationalize it and try to, like, kind of shove it into the realm of science and logic and all of that, it loses the belief part, and it sounds a lot like people really trying hard to make excuses. And like, if you're gonna believe, just believe. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You can just be like, well, if you don't believe, that's fine. I do, and that's my thing. For whatever reason, like, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. But that is when a lot of contradictions tend to arise, when people try to debate it in, like, a logical way, and then we have stuff like stuff like the Trinity and things like that. That's fine to believe in, but you can't... It doesn't make rational sense in our world. So, like, things like that, you can sort of explain, like, oh, well, this is not our world. Like, we're here on this planet, and our logic and our things are a certain way, and outside of that, it could be basically anything. So that's a matter of belief now. Trying to use our world's logic to rationalize God is, I think, a bit ridiculous. And I doubt that. I don't doubt. I know for a fact that, especially, like, Eastern Orthodox doesn't teach that. It's quite the opposite. Like, God is outside of everything, and it's something that we can't understand. Like, we can sort of see God in the actions of things, in like what we interpret as God's actions, but we can't try to be like, oh, well, God has to abide by this logical rule or this, like, logical concept. We can't say things like that because we don't know, because it's outside of everything, including like logic and everything else. Like, we can't possibly conceptualize God. And when people start trying to do that, that's when a lot of the contradictions and a lot of failures start to happen. And that's when people normally have egg on their face, is when people try to say that God has to abide by our rules of logic or things like that. Sorry, that was kind of a long tangent there. It's a stretch, but I can see what he's getting at. Most secular people get married in a church, and marriage is essentially a religious practice until the 20th century. I don't disagree with... I do actually... I'm a bit weird about this, because on one hand, I think that marriage shouldn't really have anything to do with government, and on the other hand, I also think there's benefits to it for atheists and other secular people. And I think I've harped on this kind of before, but I think it's perfectly fine if either atheists want to get married in churches that accept them, or if they want to have their own like community centers of some sort that perform similar rituals and traditions and have their own stuff, that's totally fine. I see a ton of value in it. The problem here is that Andrew specifically argued against this previously. Not that he is wrong in this debate. It's not like he's just wrong here. It's that he argued something completely opposite earlier and very, very strongly. So that's kind of what we're pointing at. His position is that only Christians can get married, and only in an Orthodox church. Only in this debate did he get quoted. Yeah, I have never heard him argue, like, say it otherwise, and I was so surprised when I heard that, because like, there's no way. And it's interesting that we both thought of the same debate too. That this one he really went hard on her. All right, let me. Did I miss something? Oh, you sent it to me. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Or is this the? Oh, you got the timestamp in here. I think I found it.
Okay, Lauren.
but-
Why should a
Oh yeah, thank you. Looks like it. I should have just I should have checked the messages before going back and forth, but looks like we both found it. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I should have scrolled down faster, but thank you so much. They'll be akin to him saying Protestants can't get married. Never heard. Well, we'll hear it right now. You're in luck. Did you see his debate with Papa Gut? That was one of the ones that I considered reviewing tonight, but it is rather long, and I found a lot of sort of fun nuggets in there in the few parts that I did hear. So I think that might be a better one to save for maybe next week when I'm feeling better, and we could go longer. Are you religious or spiritual? I think spiritual is a good label. I don't really think that we can. I sort of agree as far as Christianity goes. I agree with the Eastern Orthodox view of we can't possibly understand God, but that drives me to the point where, well, then I think that human beings wrote the Bible and they could be wrong and they could have their own like motives and things like that. I think the church could also be wrong, even though they've supposedly passed things to each other for a long time. They're also human beings and they're fallible and they could be wrong. So we really just have no way of knowing if there is such a being or concept or energy. We have no way of knowing that God exists except like straight up belief. And I think it's more complicated than that, I suppose. But those are all, I have no evidence for any of this. It's just, I have things that I think are probably the case, or that I hope are the case, or like a few options that I hope are the case, some I hope are not the case, but I don't have evidence for any of it. It's just kind of fun stuff I think about. But oh, you're welcome. Interesting question. All right, let's get to this. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's in here somewhere. And then they revisit it again at the end too. Or not at the end, but like later on. They come back to the same topic and hit it again. So let's just do
Secularist
this.
man get married. Give me one good reason.
Well, I think that having children is a very good and very important one.
Why should a secular man want children? Why would you want a secular man to have children?
Well, because I mean, aside from the general decline in birth rates, which I think is a
you want
pretty
secularists
important
to continue to reproduce? That seems like a good idea to you?
Yes, I think even if you are not Christian, you probably should have kids. We're at a point that
Is their marriage valid if it's a secularist marriage to begin with, Lauren?
valid. No.
No. So then you're
we can
basically
talk
telling
about-
them to sin, right, Lauren? Aren't you telling them to sin by telling them to get a non-Christian marriage and have children? Aren't you telling them to sin, Lauren?
So was Andrew Wilson telling people to sin right there? That's this isn't like, oh, aren't you telling him to sin, Lauren? And she really she concedes this point. She does, but he doesn't just sort of take the win and carry on. He comes back and he found this like point where she conceded, and that's gotta be, I don't know, for Andrew and debating, that has to be some sort of thing beyond just, oh cool, because he comes back and he like gets at it again and again and again in this debate. Like he does not let it go. Like he's like, oh, you're conceding on this? I'm gonna squeeze all of the conceding juice out of this. That's how it comes across anyway. For some reason, the human corruption factor in religion is really hard to get over completely. Yeah. And again, I have no problem with people who believe in the Bible being, pure or whatever. I just don't. And that's okay. I respect you all as long as you respect me and we can all get along. Let's do. I think there's a few more minutes here. Oops, I broke it.
Okay, this is yeah.
What's that? Yes. You're telling.
Yeah,
so you're telling people to sin, Lauren? That's your prescription. The whole time you've been beating the holy hell out of the red pillars, and the entire time they've been right, and you've been telling them to sin, Lauren.
So hang on. Let's
answer the question, Lauren.
I'm happy to admit where I'm wrong. This is not a problem for me. Let's talk about this. So, do you believe that? Do you believe that it is sinful for a man to get married and have kids if he is not a Christian?
That's not marriage. Marriage is a sacrament between a man and a woman. That's within the purview of the Christian ethic. You have been running around with the rest of the tradcons telling men to sin, Lauren. Why are you doing that? Why? Now answer my question. Why are you?
Why is he being such a dick? Well, he's always such a dick. Oh, don't be tone policing. Don't be tone policing. Oh my goodness, no tone policing. Then don't be a dick. Like, don't be a dick. Like, why you gotta be dick? She's conceding. She's like, okay, let's talk about this. Maybe I'm wrong. And he's like, answer the question, Lauren. Answer the question, Lauren. What a dick. Like, what? Why? She's basically on your side on this now. Like, she's gonna think about it. It sounds like she's like, okay, maybe you have a point here. Let's discuss. And answer the question, Lauren. You're telling people to sin, Lauren. Oh my goodness. Why you gotta be such a dick? Like, I think if he hadn't been such a dick in this one, I don't think I would have even remembered this to realize how he basically hypocrisied all over the place over here. Oh my goodness. And it's not even the fact that he's like saying, oh no, don't, like secular marriage is like a no-no. It's the fact that he made the exact argument. Is it right here too? I think they go back to it too, but it's 39 minutes. Yeah, we're right there. There's a few more minutes of this.
Doing that, Lauren? Because
she makes that exact argument that it's like on the way to being better or something like that.
Well, I think you're illustrating something, and again, you're getting upset with me here, but I'm happy to hear if I'm wrong, and we can talk about this. But I mean, it is true. I have argued for like a civil marriage, even within, if you're going to have kids as a man, even if you're not religious, cohabitation does not have the same outcomes as a civil marriage. That is true. There is still a difference between,
and it's all sinful, right, Lauren?
Yes, I think
then
that.
Why are you advocating that people sin? Answer my question.
I think she is trying to talk about outcomes for children and stuff. Well, why you gotta be like that?
I guess I would. That's true. That's true. I guess my argument should be first for people to.
And now you know why I think you're a feminist, Lauren. Now you know.
I swear, this guy goes to bed at night and sees feminists in his nightmares.
Because of the marriage thing?
Because you go out of your way. You haven't thought these positions.
He's literally like there in bed, and he's like, oh no, blue hair, no, oh, buzz cut, oh no, purple hair, help. I'm like tossing and turning at night. Oh no. Not the green hair one. Oh, that one's the worst. Oh no, wait, this one has blue hair too. It reminds me of Destiny. No. What is this thing of... I can't. Somebody's literally agreeing with you, and you're like, oh, you gotta be such a feminist, Lauren. Holy crap. This is so stupid. Self-evident truths. He has a problem with women prescribing things to men. Yeah. Big problem. 1 Corinthians 7:36. If anyone thinks that he is not behaving properly towards his betrothed, if his passions are strong, and it has to be, let him do as he wishes, let them marry, it is no sin. That seems, If I'm interpreting this like I'm supposed to be, it seems like the Bible has no problem with it. Like the null array situation that also seemed to get him wound up in a very... Oh, don't even... You know what? That was a while ago, and I sort of haven't followed that one all the way through. I saw bits and pieces of him bringing her up often on different podcasts, including this one, but I don't remember there must have been some show. I'm assuming it was on the whatever podcast that triggered the null array thing, because it couldn't have been her simply existing somewhere that he keeps going back to it. It must have been some kind of interaction. And I know she was on the whatever podcast, so I don't remember seeing that one. Either it was too long ago or I haven't watched it. That might be a fun one to do next week. I'm gonna have to take notes on these ones because I'm getting a lot of good ideas of stuff that we can go over. The Papa Cut thing I was already thinking about, but it's a good to note it down for sure so I don't forget. And the null array stuff. That's across several different ones, so I would have to pull together different clips from different shows. But that one might be interesting to go over because it was a while ago and I haven't personally watched all of it, so it would be sort of new and exciting for me as well. Wait, is he about to say because she hasn't thought these things? He does tend to do that a lot. Hello, Naz. Welcome back. Welcome. Yeah. I usually post in all of the other Discords, but I haven't been feeling well, and I figured it wouldn't be that long of a stream, so I figured I'd sort of skip that and sort of get right to it. We're just hanging out for a bit. Found some hypocrisy that I didn't expect to see. There's a few more minutes in this where she gets right to literally like the exact same point.
The problem is when you lift these positions from people and you haven't actually thought about them, you end up being at the mercy of them.
Oh, no.
The reason I engage so much with these red pillars, the reason I engage so much with them, so that I actually understand their positions. The reason that I engage so much with the Christian sphere is so that I can really understand the positions. You don't have a good understanding or grasp on these positions.
Oh, you called it. You called it Phantom. Is it about to say because she hasn't thought these things through? That's what that sounds like.
And it's covert feminism. What ends up happening ultimately.
Covert feminism. I love that one. I know that's been a thing. I don't know. I don't think he started it. I mean, he might have, but I have seen that around. Sorry. I have seen that around a lot. It's like the game is find basically any tradcon or similar like right-wing female who has a voice online and accuse her of being a covert feminist. That's the name of the game. The only way that you can try to escape that label is basically to be Pearl, I guess. But even she gets it. Even she can't escape. Pearl, the one who calls all women all sorts of names and thinks, women shouldn't vote, like all of it falls in line completely, is fangirling over Andrew Wilson in their interviews and outside of them constantly, is like like completely like the worst side of red pill content. Even Pearl can't get away from the covert feminist allegations. I have seen people allege that Pearl is also a covert feminist. And I mean that they have some points there. I mean, if you define feminism as being educated, Pearl has just completed some sort of college education level. I don't know if she got her master's or another bachelor's or something. Pearl is outspoken online. She owns her own business. She has her own show. Premarital relations. All girl bossing all the way. If that's what a feminist is, then Pearl is a feminist. So not even Pearl can escape the covert feminist allegations. Obviously a little more nuanced than that, but roughly what happened. She's a feminine master of covertness. Defnon is a covert feminist, confirmed. You know what? I don't have a higher education. I dropped out of college, so I am less of a covert feminist than Pearl. How about that? I was, maybe some other time. Story time. Not important, but I dropped out of college because I thought it was stupid.
Because you haven't thought these through, is you end up advocating for things like this, which are literally sinful, and you don't even know you're advocating for them.
No, I think you're right on and I will cede that. But I think when it comes to like the voting thing, I don't think it's fair to say that I haven't considered it. I think this is a good illustration of you're right here when it comes to advocating for secular marriage. I think I can simultaneously acknowledge that a secular marriage still has better outcomes for those involved and any children involved than something like cohabitation.
Oh, you're a Christian. You're not a consequentialist. You're not looking for outcomes. You're not looking for outcomes.
Let me finish. But then also recognize that by my own
let her finish. That's going to be difficult for him.
Own standard, that is not a marriage and is therefore sinful.
So that would be a contradiction, a performative contradiction.
I don't think it would be performative. I think it would be but it's not just for performance though. If you're actually like
yes, it is for performance. The performance of X action leads to contradiction. It's a performative contradiction in your worldview. Literally.
It is a contradiction of my worldview, but I wouldn't say it's performative. I'm not doing it for an audience.
Okay, fine. We won't make the semantic too detailed, but it's a contradiction. Fine, as long as you can see that is contradictory inside of your worldview. But let's go even deeper. Let's go even deeper into it, so that you understand even more. Okay.
This is so. I'm losing my voice again. I'm so sorry. But this is so cringe. She's already conceded like 10 times, and he gets off on this so much that he can't let it go. He's like, okay, sure, you've conceded, but let's go even deeper on the same thing. He really can't just take the win and carry on. He's got to be like, oh, yes, concede some more. Yes, concede, do it. This is so stupid. I'm sorry about the voice thing. God is the ultimate consequentialist. That's why he allows evil. You know, something I was thinking today that's somewhat relevant. You know what? No, it's me, and I'll say it. It had something to do with like people who think that the innocent get into heaven, and some like I think in Catholics or something, you're only innocent when you're a kid, and something with abortion. So I'll just leave it at that. Would he be in favor of secularists calling it a union instead? Maybe if it's done strictly through the court. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of that's sort of the direction I take it. Like, what if we do basically all the same stuff that people seem to like doing, like all the traditions and everything, but call it something else? With like, I don't think atheists would care if we call it something else. Although, I think colloquially speaking, I think it's gonna be hard to get people to call it that other thing, because we already know like what this thing looks like, and we have a name for it. So whether it has religious roots or not, atheists like doing it too. So now it's sort of for everybody. And honestly, we don't even know that marriage or like that concept came from Christianity or like even Judaism or other religions, because people have been, like, human beings have always been like choosing a mate and raise a family together. That's been our thing. So like I don't see why, like, with Christianity suddenly they like established this concept and everybody started doing it. I think that some sort of marriages have existed before Christianity. So like maybe the word for it has been labeled by Christianity, but I think the overall concept of choosing a person to be with, making a promise to each other, and raising a family together, like having children with that same person and being monogamous, I think that concept has been around before Christianity, and I'm confident on that. It's how we are. It's how. Oh, Bill 114 is the one that's, I think, the closest.
Meaningless. Why would I move heaven and earth and all of society to reform all of these laws on behalf of these men if they're not even going to go through with a sacrament, have an ecclesiastical authority which can govern their marriage? You're setting them up for failure. Absent that ground-based community, which you only get from the church, you can only get community building from the church. The reason most of these marriages actually fail.
I don't think that's true. I think we tend to see a lot of community building from a church, but it's not like it's impossible to get communities outside of church. I don't know why he thinks that's like we can't even do it. It's like just again, it's not impossible. There's no logical reason that keeps people from forming communities outside of religion.
And Sexton, he's a divorce lawyer. He's very popular all over the internet. Great guy. We've gone rounds and rounds about this. But one of the big keys, and if you read his book, you'll find this out, absent the groundswell community, there's nothing which keeps these marriages together. There's no shame. There's nothing to appeal to. It's just you and her, and that's it. And all.
Oh, there's still shame. I think more recently it has become a sort of more accepted to get a divorce, but that's been for religious people too. It's not like religion has been exempt from a decrease in shame around divorce. But I think there's also a concept of shame when you promise to be with someone forever and you betray them or something. That's also a concept, even if people don't believe in God. So I don't know why all of this stuff is like unique to only religious people. A performative contradiction, like substance abuse, unless orthodoxy is neutral on alcoholism and cigarette addiction, which it seems to be. I have a feeling he wouldn't. Is this mansplaining? Hello, welcome. Let me see. I'm unioned. I'm married. Doesn't have the same ring to it. And unioned already seems like it would have an implied definition. Yeah, like the workplace sort of thing. But I mean, like as some other name in general, I think even if we tried to introduce it, it would only be like on paperwork. I don't think people would colloquially use it. People are already used to having a word for it. Yes, it's existed long before Christianity. Even according to the Bible, marriage came before any formal religious body. It's not a problem. I think he just means the community is already built in through religion. Oh yeah. He is specifically advocating for orthodoxy. Oh, you're gonna be talking about divorce as well. Let's finish this out real quick and go back to the re-examination one here in a minute. But here he does bring up, like, specifically exactly, like, already what we've seen is already enough to be like, wow, hypocrite. But here it's even more basically like exactly the opposite of what he was saying.
The degeneracy of the world. Why would I move heaven and earth and try to do everything that I could to promote that? I don't want to promote that. I want to move these people out of that and into sacramental marriage so that hopefully, well, not even hopefully, they will, based on what you and I have already discussed, which is that the more religious you are, the less likely you are to get divorced. That's going to require sacramental marriage. That's the way forward, but that requires patriarchy. I'm not going to move laws around and advocate to move these laws around so that secularists can engage in more degeneracy. That's insane.
I'm not going to move these laws around. Like, it's interesting he corrected himself there, because at first it was like he had all the power in the world and he could just sort of move laws around wherever he wanted. Like he's some sort of dictator or something, which he probably wishes, but no. And then he sort of corrects himself, like, oh, I'm not going to advocate for, like, sure.
Okay. And again, the civil or marriage thing, I think you're right there. That's something that you've kind of blown my mind on. I don't have a problem admitting that. I think from the Daily Wire perspective, they view it as pragmatically easier to encourage people who are secular to get married, have children within that state wedlock than it is to convert them. And
yeah,
I think
we could say abortion is more pragmatic because you can get rid of the undesirables in society too if you wanted to. We're not interested as Christians in pragmatic solutions. We're interested as Christians in sacramental solutions and bringing people into the Church of Jesus Christ, the body of Jesus Christ. In order to do that, we need to have a message which can compete with the common sense messaging of the red pill, and they ain't got it. And that's why they get destroyed. And that's why guys like me, the few of us which exist, can go out there and completely dismember both sides of the argument because we actually understand what the arguments are. These are not evil men. They're trying to get by inside of this completely degenerate world. They're looking for a solution like this. Myron would be the first to engage in ecclesiastical authority when it came to marriage and recommend that men go that route. And they know that they're immoral, absent Jesus Christ and God. But if you can't offer them a superior message, the red pill is going to beat the holy tar out of you, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Sorry, we'll get to that. We have some more super chats.
All right. I think there was another part. Maybe it was back here at the end, but I'm done skipping around. I think we have enough. But this comes up several times in this conversation where she's literally like, well, this is like, maybe we can't get them all the way to God, but this is like sort of closer. Don't we want sort of, at least we have this? But no, complete beatdown. And it's interesting examination that you remembered the same debate as well, as far as like saying the opposite thing, because I immediately thought Lauren Chen.
Married.
Yeah, so what we would say is this, and this is what both the Orthodox and Catholic Church, I think, would say, that is a movement towards Christ. It's at least some movement towards it, but only if the confines of the marriage were set with the same religious adherence that you would set to as Christians. So, for instance, if you say two men get married, right?
Yeah, obviously
that would
that's
not
out
be
of bounds.
that wouldn't be a movement.
No,
towards,
obviously not.
Yeah, that wouldn't be God using what's evil for good.
But then my question is, why did you say Lauren Chen was sinning when she told?
Oh, true. Of course, I didn't know you actually said it in this debate. I thought you like maybe spoke about it later at some point when you said that. I didn't realize it was in this debate. I should have just kept playing it because, oh my goodness. I didn't think you were gonna even call him out right here. I didn't know that. I didn't expect that. That was cool. The Lauren Chen debate was a major reason I decided to challenge Andrew. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, I know that happened a while ago, but I didn't see the Lauren Chen thing until maybe like a month or two ago, somewhat recently. And I was surprised I didn't see it earlier because that thing was like, it was gross. There was all sorts of icky in there. He was advocating for marriage with his usual study about divorce rates in the church. His opponent was, the one with he was like, he said something like, oh, you should start out by paying for the woman to live separately and you have the kid part-time, but you pay for them anyway. And I think Andrew's point was that, that's already sounds like you're skipping to the divorce part. And that's a good point. That's why that one was so kind of boring, because it was like the other guy didn't really have any good arguments back, and Andrew was saying basically obvious stuff like, yeah, that's basically that's like divorce already. What's the point? Might as well get the marriage part first and give it a chance. That was stupid. I don't even finish the whole thing. It was so much of it was basically that exact discussion that I don't think it's worth it. As soon as Andrew converted to Orthodoxy, he started making up his own doctrines like forced doctrine, unrevocable material consent, and male promiscuity isn't as bad as female promiscuity. What? Marital consent, sorry. I didn't even say it right either. It was I messed it up too. Even from the other one. Yeah, all kinds of the forced doctrine thing is so weird, and on its surface it doesn't sound like wrong, but when you start to think about it a little bit, you're like, wait a minute. It made Andrew sound normal. It was kind of funny. Yeah. It did seem like the other guy was even crazier that time, but it was really like that was the only thing they really talked about as far as I remember. It was the marriage thing, and one guy was like, no, you should start out basically with divorce already, but not the government telling you what to do. And Andrew was like, no, you might as well give divorce a try, because then you could always have basically almost that later if you do get divorced, but you could stay together. And then they kept just talking about that back and forth. So yeah. It was weird, but it was really repetitive and kind of, all right, let's finish this one out, because
Told non-Christians to get married, and that was the way to go.
Because what she wasn't advocating for was within the confines of those marriages that they be adhered to in a religious way.
Yeah. I don't.
his definition of like a religious way was basically not gay here. So I'm sure he's gonna somehow try to weasel out of this by saying something about like more religious in some way besides, just not being gay.
So what social pressure, in other words, comes from the state in order to keep... So if you're Catholic, for instance, you're Roman Catholic, you get a divorce, right?
Yeah.
You can't get a divorce. The only thing you can get is an annulment, right?
Well, if you get a divorce, this is sort of what a lot of the red pill content is about. You tend to lose a lot of money and access to your children often. And it's overall a terrible thing. I think universally people seem to agree that divorce is a terrible thing that people generally don't want to do unless they really, really have to. So what do you mean? What's like preventing? I think there's plenty preventing
There is no divorce in the Bible, actually, and there is no annulment
either. And on top of that, yeah, there's divorce in the Bible. You're wrong.
No, there's not. Matthew 5:32 says if you marry a divorced woman, you commit adultery. And 1 Corinthians 6:9 says, and adulterers do not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Romans 7 verses 2 and 3 says that a woman, if she marries a man while her husband's still alive, while her husband is still alive.
Thank you for continuing to talk, because this is like a trick that he does with a lot of people, and this is a trick that was used over me with me as well, with that Jesus debate, the anti-Jesus debate, because this works really well on people, and it's good that you're not letting this work on you here. When they have like something going and they're making a lot of good points, you just start talking over them and interrupt them. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's basically like trying to throw the person off their game and get into whatever other thing. But it's interesting, he really doesn't have an argument here. He's just trying to like interrupt any way he possibly can, because he's like, uh-oh, actual scripture. He probably just stopped listening, though. Yeah. Your microphone gate is way too high for your voice. Your voice is cutting off when you first start speaking. Oh, is that the case? I should look into that. I thought I had it set to automate. It could also be like me cutting off or something, because I'm sick right now and my voice is pretty messed up, but it could be that. I will have to play with it at some point and record and test, but thank you for telling me. I will try to test it afterwards. I appreciate that, because otherwise I probably wouldn't notice myself. He's just waiting to respond. Yeah. And he's got to interrupt, because if somebody's kind of on a roll, he's got to put a break in that. I knew he would try to overtalk, and I knew he couldn't fault me for my tone, because then that would be tone policing. Even though that to him, like, you would think that he can't fault people for tone, but I have seen him do that before as well. And he'll also do stuff like, he'll like constantly interrupt somebody, not let them talk, and then for like 1 minute he will let the other person talk. Not even a minute, like 10 seconds he will let the other person properly respond, and then he'll start talking and they will like interrupt or overtalk him, and he'll be like, well, I didn't interrupt you last time, didn't I? I let you talk last time, as if like that entire debate where he was constantly overtalking and interrupting didn't happen, and only the last 10 seconds where he was a good boy, only that matters now. That is narc behavior. And you also looks disgusted by Bible verses. Yeah, what is up with that?
If you talk louder, it's not going to make your point better.
See, like, what is that? Why are you such a dick?
If you're an adulterer, you're going to want to pay attention.
He reverted to la 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 la. He had no argument. He couldn't even interrupt with anything rational, so he just started making noise. This is so cringe. This is the ickiest thing I've seen all week, I think. Just start going nah, 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 nah. That will do it. That's very convincing, Andrew. That's his top tier. But you know what? He's got to clip this and put in his debate university courses. Like, if somebody's making sense, that's your opponent. Just go like this. Just go nah 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 nah. That's how you do it. $200, please. You know what? I should start debate university with everything I've learned from Andrew. Like, I know I was kind of joking about it in the other video I did where it's a bunch of his tactics, but there's more tactics I've noticed. So I could start like a debate college. No, how about debate technical school? Because, college and university, all of that sucks. Why go? Debate technical school, we'll call it. And instead of doing this lengthy course with all of this blah, 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 we'll cut straight to the point with examples like this, wonderful examples of exactly how to debate properly. Just go, nah, 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 nah. Easy peasy. I think I could do a good job. We have lots of examples to show. Debate freedom video. And you can do a discount for $150. You know what? I'm not even gonna charge that much. We'll do $10. I think that this sort of material is worth about $10, and I plan to charge fairly. I don't want to rip people off and grift kind of like Andrew tends to do. We're not here for that. Thanks for the cash, so good. Yeah, I mean, this is top tier stuff right here.
Real quick,
If you're
Corinthians.
an adulterer, you're going to want to pay attention,
Yeah.
okay? So Romans 7,
That was
verses 2
good.
and 3 says, a woman, if she marries another man while her husband's still alive, shall be called.
Yeah, he's who said earlier he wasn't even listening. He's not. He's just he's just going, yeah. Stop listening. He's not. He's going, just to make noise and interrupt. He doesn't have a point. He's making noise here.
An adulteress so long as her husband liveth, but if her husband dies, then she can marry anyone but in the Lord, and she is no adulteress.
Should I take your word for it, or should I take 2,000 years of church history?
I think everybody can pull up their phone, look up Romans 7, 2 and 3, look up Matthew 5:32.
Yeah.
That's his argument for a lot of things. Anytime that, most of the time he debates against people who are atheists or secular or in some way basically not Christians. On the somewhat more rare occasion that he does debate a Christian, and anytime they refer to scripture as their evidence for an argument or something, this is exactly what he does. He'll just be like, he'll go, well, it doesn't matter what you say. It could be anything because it's what the church fathers say because that's tradition, and they have this extra stuff on top of the Bible, and that matters way more than anything in the Bible. So he basically he treats the Bible as more of like a fun fiction book to read as a suggestion, but what really matters is the word of the church. When I don't even think that Orthodox Christians take it that way. I think that like the church fathers having extra writings and tradition and sort of passing down whatever other things and interpretations that goes on top of the Bible. It doesn't go instead of the Bible. You know what I mean? So his whole thing of like, anytime he gets hit with scripture of any kind, he'll just be like, well, it doesn't matter what the scripture says because church fathers. But like, often he doesn't even have a legitimate quote from the church fathers. He'll just sort of nebulously assert that church fathers mean something else. And I don't usually see him produce evidence for that. We'll see if he does here. Usually he doesn't. He might, I don't know. Usually he doesn't. Appeal to authority, yeah. And there's evidence in the Bible that people can read and understand scripture. Oh, that is cool. I was always under the impression that that's why they had to have the popes and the whole commoners didn't understand Latin, and maybe that's why the translator. You know what? I don't know church history. I'm not even gonna try guessing. Look like an idiot. I'll leave that to you. The church history, not looking like an idiot. I'm looking like an idiot with the church history because I don't know shit about it. But I was always under the general impression that like that's why they had like priests having all this power and stuff because the commoners couldn't read the Bible. But maybe that was something that I sort of accepted as word of mouth sort of myth. I really don't have evidence for that. It's something that I've understood to be a thing since I was a kid, probably. More scripture. Is that for where people can read and understand scripture? If anyone wants to look up evidence for that after the show, that is where to find that, I believe. Yeah, because Orthodox Christians don't call him out on his bullshit. I have seen a few try, but they didn't do a great job. There was some lady that tried, but it was more about it. It wasn't so much on his arguments, but it was more about how he's like a grifter or something. And that sort of thing is kind of hard to prove when he can wave away. And anytime he makes admissions of being a grifter, he can sort of wave that away as, oh, I was just joking. So those kinds of things are tough, but they usually don't take on his sort of arguments about stuff in the world so much. They tend to kind of call him out on his personal crap, which usually doesn't go well for them because he's sort of, sleazy and sneaky about that. It's kind of hard to pin him down because he tends to word things carefully, except in this Lauren Chen case where he was completely on her about one thing and completely saying another thing here. But as far as like his personal stuff, he'll tend to be like, oh, I was just joking. I was just kidding about that. That was a joke. This was a joke. That was a joke. So if you can wave away anything sketchy as a joke, it's hard to prove it's not. I've seen him and Rachel name certain church fathers before. Okay. Is enforced doctrine or Protestant interpretation? Can you name a church father or bishop or deacon that agrees with that crap? Yeah, the forced doctrine thing is apparently something that he made up, and that is very Protestant. I keep mentioning I have a video about that, which one of the forced doctrine things that I made a while ago, which is when I was kind of first starting to make videos. I think now I would probably do them differently, which is kind of what I'm trying to do, but it's not easy with so much to say. And then getting sick and everything too, the worst time. But it is very Protestant as far as his interpretation of God in general, with him sort of saying that God has to live within the confines of logic and things like that. Something he argued with Temple about. His everything interpretation of anything relating to religion is very Protestant. So I don't know why he even tries to bother saying that he converted to Eastern Orthodox. Is that like to be cool or something? Because all of his opinions line up more with Protestant stuff. At least the ones that I've noticed. I'm not saying like every single one because I could have missed some. And sometimes he'll like quote something that's one of the really common like Eastern Orthodox sayings. But as far as making arguments about other stuff, he doesn't interpret it according to those sayings. It's like he memorized some Eastern Orthodox stuff to quote, but when it comes to applying it, he doesn't apply it. He applies the Protestant interpretations. So that's, yeah, absolutely. All right, let's finish this one out.
Look up all these
Am I allowed to
passages.
respond, or are you just going to
Look up Luke 16.
Am I allowed to respond?
Look up Mark 10. Look up.
Am I allowed to respond, or are you going to filibuster? The guy who was literally going there, la, 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 the whole, like, making noise instead of even listening or making an argument. Of all the people to say something, especially now, that's... I've said icky enough times. You know.
Matthew
respond,
19.
or are you just going to filibuster?
I think I made my point. Go ahead.
Okay, great. The Bible's
He didn't listen at all.
a liturgical document. It's not for eggheads like you to make decisions on what the Bible's actually saying or not, because you have a loose interpretation. You have to put
I have a very tight interpretation.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
You're
okay.
saint who? Of which church?
Okay. Clement of Alexandria agrees with me in I think it's book 2, Book 2, chapter 23 of, I forgot what the name of the book is, but it starts with an S. But I can give you the quote. I do have it on my phone. Also, Saint.
What is this face and this like reaction when you're like, I have something, I can show it to you, and he's like like turns into a bobblehead all of a sudden with this like "ofu." Like what was that? Like what is so wrong about the word also? Like are you that afraid of like something else coming to back up the opponent's point that you can't even handle it and you're like also like what is going on? This is the cringiest shit ever. Oh my goodness. When a husband abused his wife horribly, which Rachel's ex did, there's no evidence for that. And what do we say when women make accusations of things like that? We tend to ask for evidence. He breaks the union of the marriage. Sure. The church and liturgical life existed before the final fixed canon of the modern Bible, which, by the way, she only started claiming more recently when people started kind of hitting her harder about their remarriage stuff. And also, the first one, I don't think they were even married to the first one when they had kids. Anyway, I don't want to get into that, like, too deep into that stuff again, but I'm just saying, like, there's no evidence for that, as far as I know. The church and liturgical life existed before the final fixed canon of the modern Bible. Scripture was preserved and recognized within the church, not as a standalone self-interpreting book. Yeah, Protestant here, we believe in rights, not heard of forced doctrine. Why is some edits reacts for citing scripture? Yeah, he seems really uncomfortable with it for some reason. Like, if you, it's one thing to say to like make his argument and be like, oh well, you know, you can cite scripture, but the church fathers actually say this, this, and this, and like quote some church fathers in response or whatever. But he's not really doing that. He's sort of literally going la 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 la, and then over talking constantly, and then like making faces and sort of like this isn't. You know what I mean? Like if he had a strong argument here, I don't think he would need to do all that extra stuff. Concede anymore. All right, I'll leave the more detailed religious stuff in the chat because I'm not as like I don't know as much, so I can't make arguments. But I think I'll leave that to re-examination. He seems to know a lot more than I do, and here he is to make the arguments for us. So,
Augustine of Hippo agrees with me. Tertullian agrees with me.
Let me give a response.
Go ahead.
Well, he did ask you for like examples, and then he. Okay.
Okay, so first of all, no, you're
Yes.
actually wrong. So let's go to Corinthians, in fact, all right? Are you allowed to divorce if there's adultery?
You're not allowed to remarry.
Are you allowed to divorce if there's adultery?
Actually, no.
You're not allowed to divorce if there's adultery.
You're actually thinking about Matthew 19:9.
I just
You're not
want to
thinking
make,
about 1 Corinthians.
I just want to make sure.
You know why?
Hang
You
on,
know why? Because Matthew 19:9 is the discussion between the Pharisees and Jesus on Deuteronomy 24.
Yeah, can you divorce for adultery or not?
Only in Deuteronomy 24 for hardness of heart. And number two, otherwise you fall into the Schrodinger's marriage problem, which is they used to teach why can the innocent party remarry, but the guilty party can't? Because because why, if the marriage is over, why can't the guilty party remarry?
You know what? I'll do this a different way.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just grant it. I'll
Sure.
just grant.
I love it when he does this because when somebody makes like a really good argument and he doesn't have a response, he'll eventually, after all the over talking and all the making faces and all the making noises and everything, he'll eventually go, I'll just grant it for you. I'm just gonna grant it. I'm gonna do you this favor. Like, you're doing really poorly right now, but you know what? I'm gonna be so nice for you. I'm gonna be so nice, and I'm gonna rise above all of this BS you got going on, and I'm gonna grant this for you. For you, I will do this favor. Because you know what? I have control over this whole situation. I know this way better than you do. I'm gonna grant this for you just so we can move on to something sort of more important. You got anything else? I'm just gonna grant this for you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Every time. All right, let me In fact, he got the reference. Yeah, he did correct him there, and he just kind of moved right over that in the concept too. Dang, Rex making Andrew nervous for sure. I'll just grant it. Re-examination, you're welcome. He'll just grant it for you. You're welcome. He's doing you a huge favor here. You were basically losing, but he's gonna grant this for you.
That your interpretation here is correct.
So no divorce, no remarriage.
Yeah, let's just grant it for a second. Is Christian nationalism advocating for that?
Yours is, clearly.
Show me.
Oh, you just said it right here because you said it wasn't in the purview of Christian nationalism to do that.
I said, this is what I said. Roman Catholics say you can't get divorced. That's what I actually said, right?
That's one of the things you said.
No, that's the only thing I said.
No, that's not.
Yeah. When did I say that Christian nationalism says that you're not allowed to get divorced, even under specific circumstance of adultery? Can you tell me when I said that, sir?
Well, when you incorporated Christian into anything, you incorporate the Bible in anything.
I'm not incorporating your interpretation of shit. And not only that,
2 Peter 1:21 says it's not open to interpretation,
I have
sir.
2,000 years of church history behind me. And
then why don't you agree with the church fathers on divorce and remarriage?
I do.
No, you don't.
We have
no,
modern church
you don't agree
fathers.
with
What are
St.
you
Augustine.
talking about?
Read him on adulterous marriages then.
What?
Read him. You didn't read him.
Let me just ask you again, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even if I grant all of this, currently, what Christian nationalists are advocating that if there was adultery, you couldn't get divorced? Name one.
That's not my point at all. But
Then what does it have to do with the prompt?
It has to do with you say Christian.
It has to do with my interpretation of the Bible. So therefore nothing.
My interpretation.
Your interpretation.
Are you kidding? Are you?
Yes.
So the Catholic.
No,
so
I'm
the
not
Catholic
kidding.
Church. Sorry, the Catholic Church did not say you can remarry after divorce. I'm sorry.
Does the Catholic Church grant annulments?
Annulments aren't in the Bible, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, but do they grant annulments?
Yeah, but that's a fiction.
Okay,
Annulments
but
are a
do they
scam.
grant it though?
Annulments are a scam.
So is there any
not in the
Christian
Bible.
nationalist saying
Show
that if
me an
there's
annulment in the
adultery,
Bible.
you can't get divorced?
Show me an annulment in the Bible.
Why would listen? Even if everything I believed about the Bible was totally incorrect and everything you believed was totally correct, right now the debate is about whether or not Christian nationalism, the advocation for Christian nationalism, can do something about. Can do something.
So it's almost like Christianity doesn't really have basically anything to do with the Bible, because it's all open to interpretation. Like I can read the Bible right now. I mean, I don't have one, but I can go buy one and I can read it and it can say, I don't know, Jesus blah 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 blah, and I can interpret that as eat potato. So it's all open to interpretation, y'all.
About degeneracy in society, especially within the social order. And thus you can name for me a single Christian nationalist who's advocating that even under terms of adultery can't get divorced. Your argument's totally irrelevant.
The problem
and it's
is
an argument about
Christian
church
the
history.
same way the left used the word woman. You can just mean whatever you want anytime you want. Christian this, Christian that.
That's a good point. Because he loves to use that as an argument against people too, that, oh, well, if you can basically say anything is interpretation or opinion or whatever, then you can say men or women, and that's basically like being a leftist. What are you, woke now? That's the same exact argument he uses, so it's interesting to see it thrown back at him like this. Been granted, bestowed, and blessed. Saint Wilson blessed you with his granting. He is a pretty cool cucumber in debates, I agree. He does very well. Is he going to pull you want to bet 1,000 right now? Oh no. No, it's funny. Like what kind of debate tactic is that? Is that supposed to be like, what is that supposed to mean? I can't believe that happened to me. It's so weird. I haven't had, well, any debates. I've only had like a couple really short ones, and one of the really short ones was with the same guy. And I have never even like seen a debate that weird. Like that was so weird. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, the faces thing is pretty annoying. The magical world of Disney strikes back like a north. Interpretation is one reason why there's over 40,000 Christian denominations in the world. Yeah, I mean, if you basically say like the Bible is open to interpretation, then that leaves no boundaries whatsoever. There has to be uh, some stuff in there that is written in a way that's pretty damn clear. Like, sure, some things that are written in language in general in any text can be open to interpretation, but not the whole thing. Like, there are things in the Bible that are pretty damn clear, and sure, there are probably more things. Not more. There are probably some things that are more kind of nebulous or metaphorical or spiritual or whatever. Like that could also be in there, and I'm sure is. I know for a fact is. But it's not just because some of the things in there are open to interpretation and kind of vague or whatever, it doesn't mean that the whole thing is. Like if it, I don't even know what else to say to this. This is so stupid. But he'll argue the exact opposite when it suits him. Absolutely. Yeah. I think if somebody else was trying to argue on the opposite side, he would probably have used the exact same, like, oh, you can just say that men are women thing at the other person. I think he would have done the exact same, probably the exact same arguments on the opposite side if it happened to suit him.
Secularist. I'm a secular humanist. I'm a secular not humanist. I'm a secular vegan. You can make up whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, except I'm not secular, so you're not dealing with that right now. So
what are
he probably really wishes he was, because he has like a pattern and exact sort of he has certain scripts that he pulls out for the secular people, and he doesn't deal with Christians that often, so it seems like he can't really handle Christians well that really know their stuff about stuff besides like his own personal life.
You have to go next. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian.
What form of Christian under Christian nationalism are you advocating for no divorce?
Christian nationalism actually isn't in the Bible. You know, it's in 1928.
Answer my
the
question?
Great Commission.
Answer my question.
I don't think Christian nationalism is a meaningful
term. Then why
term.
am I contending with you about Christian nationalism?
Because it's
what? You have the debate Wilson versus 5. You invited people to contend with you on Christian. What do you mean? What? What do you mean? Why am I contending with you on Christian nationalism? Did you not like? Was this not your topic? Did you not like have this event for you? What? What? Why are you here? Go away. You're there discussing like, why am I here talking to you? I don't know. Why did you come? Like, why did you walk your ass in that building and sit down and start talking? How would we know? This is so weird. Neutralize the issue with grounding your worldview as a secularist. He's basically saying, why you keep making good points, stop, why? He said it was a solution for degeneracy. Then when I challenged him on the how, he blames me for showing up and asking what Christian nationalism even is. This is so crazy.
Obviously not even advocating for...
He's going back to the whole mimicking, like... the whole like playing stupid thing that he does to basically convey the other person is stupid by making this thing like I swear like this is a boy that never grew up. If you talk like that and like a serious discussion with another adult who isn't being a dick to you at all. Somebody who's simply making good points against your points, and he's been resorting to this half of the time. Half of his arguments or responses have been this, whatever this is.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Well, how do I advocate for something called Christian that's not in the Bible?
Okay.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to take your personal interpretation of these things over my church's interpretation or the 2,000 years of history behind it from whatever crazy denomination you're from. And on top of that, you're not even advocating for any of this, so it's irrelevant. And on top of that, even...
What? Wait, so if you're not advocating for Christian nationalism, it's irrelevant what you think. So why are you debating with people who are not advocating for Christian nationalism if it's relevant what they think? Like, if it's irrelevant, why even talk about it? If you have to advocate for Christian nationalism for your thoughts to be relevant, then he should only be talking to Christian nationalists about this. This is the weirdest conversation I've ever seen. You should have. I think it's actually. I think it's good that re-examination stayed kind of cool cucumber the way he has been, and basically like completely owned with just his arguments, just because it basically only makes Andrew look dumber here by acting the way he's acting when the other person is basically like sitting there making good points. It looks better that way. I think if you put yourself on Andrew's level at some point, I won't blame you. But so far, it has been better that you have. It's been better that you haven't. It would have been funny. It would have been, but I think in the end, it is better that it's better to kind of like let him stew and sort of like stay chill. I think it worked better that way. But it would have been funny. I agree. It would have been funny. What you said about going to buy Bible and reading Jesus Bomb like potato. His way orthodoxy leans on church history and doesn't subscribe to sola scriptura, Latin for scripture alone. It was in the back of my mind, but this was my first series of 8, so I wanted to stick to 100% substance and real tactics. I think it was a good choice. This is why I got the Orthodox Study Bible, so I could get the notes. Oh, that's a good call.
And if I granted the entirety of your argument, you need to show me a single person who's in the mainstream anywhere advocating for Christian nationalism that says you couldn't get divorced under the grounds of adultery.
Actually,
Just
I don't
one.
need to show you that at all.
I don't want to harp too long on this because I know like re-examination probably has better arguments than me, but church fathers are also human beings. They're also fallible. They could be wrong. Whoever like sat down and wrote and compiled the Bible are also human beings, and they could be wrong. None of those people are God. So whether like they interpret it or somebody else interprets it, it's all up for interpretation, right? Which is why I disagree with that. I think that there are certain things, like certain parts of it, that can be up for interpretation, but a lot of it isn't. A lot of it is pretty damn straightforward. Just all right. Let's finish this out. I am losing my voice.
Yeah, no, exactly, because you have no argument. Now tell me.
I can show you the Bible.
Now let's try this.
Once you incorporate the word Christian, you immediately
Now,
bring the Bible to the table, and it's over.
Tell me this.
Yeah.
Is there any prescription against that you can think of from a secular angle that would actually address degeneracy in society?
Why does it matter from a secular angle? You're not talking to like an atheist here.
Secularism has no angles.
Yeah, so nothing.
Yeah, I'm not a secularist.
Nothing. So what? So is Christian nationalism uniquely positioned to do something about degeneracy in society?
Christian nationalism doesn't have anything to draw from because it's not a biblical concept.
Oh my God. Can they do something about degeneracy in society, even if it's fake?
Oh, tell me a policy that you can pull from the Bible that you can call Christian national.
Okay, let's say that they made a justification that was in the Bible that was fake. Let's just say it was fake. They were wrong.
Why would they
let's just say from their own view, they were just totally incorrect about whatever the policy was that they were drawing from the Bible. But if they did draw it from the Bible, even though it wasn't correct, and then they applied it to like, OnlyFans and outlawed it, would they be doing something about degeneracy?
So what does this have to do with Christianity? If you basically have things that are, in your opinion, degeneracy, just get other people together that also agree that these particular things are degeneracy or whatever, and get together and try to outlaw them or whatever. Like at that point, the Christian part becomes irrelevant, and you just have nationalist with some opinions attached to it. Like, where's the Christian? And like, what? It's hypothetical. Please agree with me. Yeah, I mean, he's gotta, at the end of the day, if all else fails, he's gotta pull out some hypothetical in whatever way. You just have to concede on something. Please concede, please. I need it. There's always the like completely irrelevant hypothetical that has nothing to do with anything, but sure. Okay, go ahead.
Degeneracy or not?
Doing something about degeneracy. You
Answer the question.
And he's always like, oh, answer the question. Oh, do this, do that. This completely irrelevant hypothetical. Like, why are you being such a dick? Like, the way he's acting, like, is like he's got something here. Like, I've got you. I've got him now. He's got to answer this question, and I'm gonna win, and he's gonna have to concede this whatever random thing. Into the question.
Okay.
Would they or not?
It's such a convoluted, weird
yes
question.
Or no?
If you made up...
He does this constantly. I find this one of the most annoying things he does is come up with some ridiculous hypothetical, and it's not a yes or no question, or rather, it's not a yes or no answer, and he's like, yes or no, answer that question. It's so annoying, like, with the faces and the voices, like, like, I understand this is like entertainment or whatever, but it's still icky.
A rule and then you put it into law. Can you call it Christian nationalism?
Yeah, would it do something
that
about
doesn't
degeneracy?
make any sense. I don't even know how to make sense.
I think like re-examination here, like your expression is sort of like as baffled as like it looks like you are baffled by the behavior too. You're like. That's like how your expression is kind of how I feel watching this. Like, really, like, come on, this is so cringe. I don't know, it does look like me. Yeah, really good job not taking the bait, because he does, this is not a good look for him. But anybody who's a fan of Andrew Wilson, they're gonna look at this and they're gonna be like, "Oh, he owned that guy. He dog walked him. Andrew, he's got this 100% right." Like, I've seen it before. Like, he can do no wrong. But anybody who's like a rational person that can look at this sort of from the outside, that isn't already like obsessed with like hanging on every word of his, they're gonna look at this and be like, okay, this is unhinged.
The fucking question.
It's an incoherent question.
What's incoherent about it?
If I make up something,
you
call it
just
Christian
steelmanned it.
nationalism.
How can you steelman it and then still not answer it?
I don't understand what you're saying.
You don't understand what I'm saying?
I do not understand what you're saying.
So let's say that I pull up a biblical passage, totally misinterpret it compared to whatever your view is, then apply it as a matter of a law against some degenerate act that was going on, which curtailed the
then it has nothing to do with Christianity at that point. Like, what kind of stupid... What kind of stupid question is that? That's a
degenerate act. Would that do something about the degenerate act or not? Yes or no?
Sure, but you can't call it Christian if it's made up.
Yes, you can't call it Christian. You can't call it Christian because you have your own unique interpretation where you can't get married under God.
Wait, what do you mean? You just described a situation where it is not a Christian thing. Like, you yourself said that this is Andrew himself. He said they are wrong and they do this thing, but it's not in the Bible. They're wrong. They are like definitively in this hypothetical wrong. So it's not a Christian thing they're doing. What is going on? All right, there's only a few seconds, but this is so weird.
And read Augustine of Hippo on divorce.
Why is he acting like he's got something there? Like he's got you. This is like a clearly a win in his mind or something.
Remarriage, and you'll find that you don't have the church fathers, you don't have the Bible, you don't have reason, you don't have logic, you don't have anything.
Well, I just logically destroyed you, so
hardly.
I fucking knew it. Of course he was gonna look at his face. He thinks he owned you right there. Oh, this was so bad. Anybody that like is really into Andrew Wilson and all the stuff he says that thinks Andrew is always right. If you can watch this and seriously think that he like won here, or like didn't at least like gets even some things wrong, like I don't know what to say to that. I mean, look at this face. He's like, I totally won.
It wasn't even hard.
Yeah, read
Wasn't
Clement.
even talking. What is this like gloating thing? Like, oh, I won. Like, what are you, 5? 1, no, you didn't. And 2, who acts like that? This is so cringe.
of Alexandria.
Yeah, I know.
Read
But
Augustine.
can we
There's a
do?
book called Divorce
Can
to
you do
Remarriage by Chris
anything about
Iverson, by the way.
degeneracy?
Yeah, I know. All scripture and Christian stuff and examples and quotes, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Shoo. Yeah, shoo. But can you degenerate? Just make faces and make noises but can you degeneracy? And I win. I won, mommy. I did it. This is so bad. Oh my goodness.
Absent right now in the political arena. Can secularists do anything about degeneracy or not?
Oh,
What
secularists
does
can do
that
nothing.
have
Okay,
to do
great.
with anything? Like he had to like ask that at the end there, knowing he already said a bunch of times that doesn't apply to you, and he still is like, okay, good. Like, oh, okay, good. I got like agreement on a question. That means I won. How can people that are obsessed with him not see this? Like, people that are like, oh yes, he says everything is right. Every single debate he has, he owns the other person. He's constantly owning people. Anybody who debates him, they're always losing. Like, how can somebody see this and still think that this was like him owning another person and winning, and not see all of the super icky stuff he's doing here? Like, what is this? Oh my goodness. This was fun. Yeah, you did a great job. I wish I saw this earlier. I think I might have started watching this one at some point, but I think I was somewhere like over here, I think. I wish I had watched it all the way through, because this was definitely fun. I thought the Force Doctrine one that you did was good, but this one was even better, because this one was like we got all of the we got the whole array of all of the little like desperate tactics from Andrew here that were kind of it was kind of funny to watch. But heretic. Yeah, Andrew has become what he claims to hate. Logically destroyed. But that one's not for me. He has no problem with the sin of pride, I guess. Yeah, I would think like all of the what people commonly call is like the 7 deadly sins. I think he has like most of them. I mean, Andrew's not acting like that for no reason. He's probably I don't know that for a fact, but it does seem to happen a lot. You didn't understand my question. Haha, it was easy. Yeah, as long as you say something like that at the end, it means you won. If you just keep claiming that you're winning, just saying I won means you won, right? So it's all good. It's all good. Re-examination, you should have just said at the very end there, like, I won, okay, bye. Maybe if you say I won first, that means you win. I mean, in his world, that must be how it works, right? Okay, that one's not for me. Okay. Well, excuse my voice again. I've been sick. But I had a pretty good time. This was fun. I'm glad that we went in this direction instead of the Jim Bob Evolution one. I think this one was way funnier. Maybe we'll do the other one. Maybe I'll watch that one at some point myself and see if that one is even worth getting into, if there's any like funny nuggets in there. And maybe we'll do it another time. The Jim Bob Evolution one, that was I lost it. I had it somewhere. Well, wherever it is. But it's the undefeated strategy, absolutely. The second debate if you're interested, but take care. Okay, yeah, I will look at that. If there's is that the is there another one I might have missed? Oh, that might be cool. We might do that one another day. We'll save it. It's on the suggestion about being Chimbub. Which is honestly like sometimes funny, sometimes that's also funny. But yeah, I'll take a look at that and see if it's worth bringing up. And like if there's anything to really talk about besides like, you know, kind of laughing about it. But looks like there's another one of these that I might have missed at some point, or at least don't remember. So maybe we'll do that one sometime in the future. But I do need to get some rest today, and I'll see you either Wednesday or Thursday. Depends on what kind of stuff is going on. If there's enough stuff to go over Wednesday, maybe Wednesday, or depending on like if something else comes up, maybe Thursday. But it's gonna be either Wednesday or Thursday for sure. I think Professor Dave just made a response recently. The one maybe what they're gonna do. Oh, is that the one? Oh, I think I saw Professor something recently that was interesting that I haven't finished watching. Oh, is it oops, is it this? Somebody linked this, and maybe this was Naz, I don't remember. Somebody linked this one in the Discord, but I think that there's some more from this guy that is the source content somewhere. I started watching this, but I don't really remember what was said. I think I was distracted doing something else. So I don't know if I should watch the source content itself or if I should watch this instead. I haven't decided yet, but I did find that channel because it came up in the suggested list. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but that might be worth watching too. Maybe if this is like a reaction to it, maybe I'll watch the source content first so we can do our own reaction. Or if Peterson already did a reaction, maybe it's not worth doing like a similar reaction, but I don't know. I think we come from sort of different backgrounds, so it might be worth doing anyway. I don't know. Thank you so much. What was that for me? It's the guy debating Shmup. Oh, okay, yeah. The same thing. Oh, that was you. Oh, cool. Yeah, I thought it was somebody in Discord, which it is often Naz that posts links, but thank you for that. I apologize. I didn't remember exactly who did, but I do remember pulling this up, and I never finished watching it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I did not recall the exact person. I apologize. That one's not for me. Okay. Well, by the way, Reexamination has his own channel too. The person we saw and discussed debating Andrew today. Let me pull that up so I can post it. Here you go. If you want to see more of Reexamination, he does good stuff. And knows way more than I do on anything Christianity or religion and stuff like that. So that's a way better source than I am for things related to Christianity. I'll post it in a Discord too. Also, Reexamination, you're welcome to post, like, if you wanna share those videos in a Discord as well. Well, since we're gonna go over the last ones together, I know it's up to you, but you can also, you're welcome to share anytime you want in the sharing channels. I posted it in your channel in Discord as well. There we go. Okay, just so I don't forget later. No, thank you. You did a really good job here. This was fun. Thank you for providing the content, I suppose. Yes, good evening, and examination as well. And Naz, good evening to you. RN Pro, or I guess Rick Nell now. Have a good night as well. And thanks everybody else. I am going to go ahead and sign off now. Thanks for hanging out, and have a good night. I'll see you around, or in Discord, or next stream, or whatever. Okay, I'll quit blabbing now. Bye.